What's going on, y'all? This is your boy Kev coming to you with another video, man. And this time, I'm going to travel to a world far beyond. It's a world that I'm not usually talking in. Well, this is a sports channel, so it's not nothing too crazy. The United States men's national soccer team, if you can fit all that in one, lost to Trinidad and Tobago last night, 2-1. They also needed Panama to lose. Panama won. I think they also need Honduras to lose, and Honduras won. And now they have not qualified for the 2018 World Cup. Very sad day for America. Well, at least as far as soccer is concerned. The first time that the United States has the men, I guess the men haven't qualified for the World Cup since 1986. I mean, this team has a lot of talent. You know, the familiar names, the Clint Dempsey's, the Josie Altidores, the Michael Bradleys, the new sensation, wonder kid, Christian Pulisic, or however you say his name, Graham Zusi, Sporting KC, Kansas City. But they couldn't get the job done last night, man. USA, they gave up an own goal. The defender tried to clear it, kicked it backwards toward the goal. I guess tried to clear it away from Trinidad and Tobago trying to score, but it goes into the goal. And then Trinidad and Tobago scored another beautiful, magnificent goal. Dude scored from like 40 yards out. Just a straight bomb. Again. Tim Howard couldn't react to it fast enough. Tim Howard, another one, the goalie. And they put him up 2-0, and it was too big of a hole for the United States, and they lose 2-1, and the United States won't be in the World Cup. I mean, I'm not a avid soccer fan, so like the World Cup and the Confederation Cup and World Cup, Confederation Cup. What's the other one? What's the other one? Or the Olympics or whatever. Them are the times I usually lock in the soccer, you know. And I mean, other than Sporting KC, I don't really watch much soccer. It's a blow to me because I always like when the World Cup comes around, you know, because I want to see if the United States men can do what they haven't done in a long time, which is win a World Cup. Again, the World Cup is in Russia in 2018 next summer, and the United States won't be in it. I mean, it's been outrage all morning on ESPN from ESPN's soccer analyst Taylor Twellman, man. I mean, he's been going off. I know Alexei Lalas on Fox is going off. I remember he went off on the team when they lost to Panama here on U.S. soil. He called guys out by name, called Clint Dempsey out, Altidore, Bradley, Howard. He called them all out. He didn't even. He was talking about how those guys need to step up, and he even mentioned Pulisic, who was basically the best player on the team the last few matches, you know, and he didn't even mention him because I was even called him. I was like, if those of you I didn't mention, that means you don't matter, or you don't matter, or something to that extent. And as we said, yeah, that's right, you too, Wonder Boy. That must have been the one he was talking about. But and then Taylor Twellman went off. He's been going off all day. He started going off the night after. Last night after the match was over, and he's been going off throughout the day. But there was something that he said it was around 6 a.m. this morning. I was going to work. I was looking at Sports Center AM because that's what led the show, and he was on there going off again. But it was something that he said that was really, really eye-opening. You know, soccer is the world's greatest, not the world's greatest game, most popular game in the world. And by the world, I mean every country. Every country, there's some type of soccer going on. It may not be as popular in some countries, but like America, it may not. America is probably the third or fourth most popular sport here in the United States, being behind football and basketball, and then maybe baseball. Baseball, soccer may be 2 and 3. Excuse me, 3 and 4. Depending on who you ask, really. But then in the countries like Argentina and Brazil, powerhouse like that, Germany, soccer is life. Soccer is the main sport in your country, and they produce teams out the woodwork. I mean, they start from when kids are in youth soccer. They recruit those kids and they put them in a pool of best players in their country, and they build them up. They train, and probably all year round for this. They train those kids all the way up until they're able to play for the national team, and they have all that experience. Like they always talk about the under-21 team, the under-17 team. These kids are dedicating their life to playing soccer in these countries. The United States, you have that. We have that, but it's really not as big as in other countries. And Terry Toyman was talking about all the resources that the United States have, but they just don't put as much effort into soccer as they do in these other countries. Like I said, about Germany, Brazil, Argentina, all the big soccer countries. And then he said, he said something interesting. He was talking about I guess the arrogance that the U.S. men's national team was showing. I guess they were just talking all nonchalant, like, yeah, and all that. And Taylor Twyman's like, where's this arrogance coming from? You can't even beat Panama 2-1 on in your own country. So how are you so arrogant? Thinking that we're better than we're not. We're not using the systems to build these guys up and have a better team. There's other countries out here with not as many resources as the United States, and they're producing these powerhouse teams. There's no reason for us to be losing like this. And then that's what he's saying. He's wondering where this arrogance is coming from. Well, I mean, we can't win. We can't beat countries like Panama. I mean, no disrespect to Panama and Trinidad and Tobago and all that, but we can't. We have all these resources, and we're not able to produce wins. A lot of people thought it was Jurgen Klinsmann's fault, and then Bruce Arena comes in. They started off pretty well. I think they won like first 3-4 games under Arenas, and after that, I mean, the CONCACAF qualifying for the World Cup, the United States laid an egg. Yeah, but again, I admit I'm not a casual. I'm sorry. I'm just a casual soccer fan. I only tune in for the big tournaments, the Confederations Cup, the World Cup, the Olympics, Olympics and all that, and then I don't follow it that much. I mean, I see the highlights on TV. I know the main guys. I know the main guys in soccer. It's United States and international, but that's about it. But yeah, man, a lot of outrage in America over this national team not being able to make it, and a lot of people are saying, why don't you pay more attention to the women? The women are winning. The women are having top 3 finishes. The women just won the World Cup. Was at the last Women's World Cup. The women won. Carly Lloyd was huge. I never really know. I noticed Carly Lloyd before, but mostly when I went back and during that World Cup, mostly people thought that Alex Morgan was going to be the next great player for the United States. But it turned out Carly Lloyd was the one who had the big breakout tournament. Was it the two goals in like 5 minutes? That one goal straight out the gate in the final, where she just bombed it from almost midfield. You know, she dominated that tournament, and Carly Lloyd's now looked at as the face of the women's national team now. And like I said, they're winning. They're winning, and they're competing. They're winning World Cups. They're having top 2, top 3 finishes, and the men can't even qualify. And sometimes the men was knocked out in the knockout stage. You know, they've gotten to a few championship games. I think they won the last Confederates Cup, if I'm not mistaken. But you know, the women are outdoing the men, and I remember it was a thing about they brought that up on Sports Nation. Terry Tillman and them did talk about the whole pay for play thing, about how the men are getting way more than the women, you know, and the women are winning more. You know, women are competing more. Women are having better finishes. You know, if the men aren't doing as well as the women, then they shouldn't be getting that much. They shouldn't be getting much more money than the women do. I think it should be equal. I mean, I think it's like equal in tennis. I think it's equal in golfing. Maybe not golfing, but I mean, it means, but in those sports, it's kind of similar. You know, it's the difference ain't that much. But I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this video up here, man. Thank you guys for watching. National team, you know, it sucks. It sucks, you know. Hopefully the women qualify. I think they'll qualify. Like I said, the women been out producing the men the last 5-10 years. But hey, I wish y'all nothing but positive vibes only. I'm gonna see y'all next video.